Okay, it's live streaming. I'm going to put the record button. You want to start, right? You said, Al?
Yes, Jeremy.
Okay, it is recording. It is June 16th, 2022. It is 6 p.m. This is the Executive Board of Community 411 in the Bronx. We do have a quorum. We do have the chairperson, Al D'Angelo, vice chairperson, Yahya Obeid, Secretary Hazel Mura, Sergeant at Arms Oral Selkridge, myself, District Manager, Community 11, and one member of the public, Robert Press. I'll share. You want me to share the agenda, Al?
Yeah, please.
Can you see that?
No, I don't, Jeremy.
Might be a delay. Yahya, Hazel, can you see the screen?
I got it now.
I can see it.
Okay. So draft minutes, we don't have those. I got to find out where those are. Unless there's any discussion on it, Al.
Yeah, not at this time. We'll discuss that at another time. One of the things that we wanted to talk about at the general meeting is the possible removal from our board. We have a few people. Ellie Rodriguez, who I believe gave some kind of a response, if I'm not mistaken. Melanie and Cecilia Smoker. Jeremy, you want to give us some information about each one?
Yeah, so Ellie missed 3 meetings towards the beginning of the fiscal year, which starts for, I think, for public safety, their committee meetings. 3 meetings. Well, I think maybe 1 or 2 were at the beginning of this calendar year, but there are only 3 meetings. And he's been attending regularly since. So he said something to that effect. I won't go into further detail unless you want me to, but we probably shouldn't discuss that publicly.
No, I think we decided not to bring him up before the full board.
Well,
I believe the only one of the 3 that came up with basically the only response that wasn't really acceptable. Well, yeah, why don't you go through Melanie also?
Well, let's start with him. Does any other executive board member have any questions regarding Mr. Rodriguez? I did send the response on to the executive board. Yeah, hey,
Veronica, I just want to say Ellie's been a really good participant in the public safety. He gave his reasonings for why he missed the meetings, and I don't think he should be brought up for removal.
Okay.
I agree, and again, he had legitimate reasons for not being able to attend.
Yeah,
okay.
I also agree.
Okay, thank you for that information. It's good to know.
And yeah, I don't know if Ellie, Melanie, or Cecilia is here tonight. I know Cecilia was going to try to come, but she had a conflict. Melanie, I don't know if she's here tonight. She was going to try to come. I got to pull hers up. I brought up Cecilia's. I don't want to share that though publicly. I don't think details. I did share with you.
I think she did mention she had some health issues and other problems that came in. That's why I believe we said it the last time we weren't going to bring her name up either.
Okay. Is that Melanie you're talking about or Cecilia? I mean,
well, Cecilia, well, you have the excuses from Cecilia. I haven't heard anything from Cecilia.
yeah. So, all right. So, I did share it with the public or with the executive board, but I don't know what publicly I should say. I mean, they were
about this concerning Cecilia.
Yeah, either one of them.
Well,
I don't remember if Melanie gave us anything.
Melanie had some health issues that I don't think we need to share with anyone. But
Okay.
Cecilia had some her excuses basically were job related, or not even job related. They were related to a union activity of which she's a member of, and it seems that her union meetings fall on the same night as our meetings. And she's chosen to take, go to the union meetings, which is understandable. But again, if that continues, she can't, there's no sense sitting on the board if you're not gonna make any of the meetings.
So,
Do you have her response, Jeremy?
yeah, I do. Yeah, she provided no indication of her commitment going forward.
If she attends the full board, the leadership meeting tonight, or the full board meeting, we will ask her before we decide, can she commit to our meetings? At least the majority of our meetings.
Yeah, I mean,
It
she's
didn't-
not
it
coming
didn't
tonight.
sound- Her response to you didn't sound like she was, gonna make any changes in her schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, it's up to the committee to make it, or it's up to the board to. But Valerie Babb, we put it up to the full board. You guys voted for recommended removal, unless she could, come to the full board and, I guess, defend herself. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't do something similar for Cecilia, at least.
Well, that's exactly what I said. If she comes to the full board, we'll listen to her, what she has to do before we make a final decision.
But in terms of Mulaney, I know she missed full board and health committee meetings, and I think she was brought for removal last year as well.
But
Um,
again, unless I'm mistaken, wasn't there some serious health issues?
this time around or last time, I don't remember. Hold on, let me pull up. Does anybody remember if there's anything that was there any reasons provided? I don't believe there was this. Any other? I don't know if Mulaney or anybody's here. Please speak up, though. If any of these members are here, Mulaney, Ellie, or Cecilia, but Cecilia said she wouldn't be here.
How many did Mulaney miss?
Hold on. Oh, the excuses you're referring to, Al, are from last year. It's not for this year. There was
Oh, okay.
nothing for this year. So she missed 3 committee meetings in a row. So these are unexcused absences, and then she missed 5 full board meetings total unexcused.
Okay, and
Oh,
the health issues were not this year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, then both those individuals should come before the board for possible removal. They'll have a chance to to plead their case before the board.
So, are you making a motion then, Al?
Yeah, I make a motion that we bring both names up for possible removal, contingent on their excuses and the vote of the board.
Okay. Can I get a second? Or did Al get a second?
I second it, Jeremy.
Any more discussion? Anyone opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, let me share the agenda again. Hold on. Okay, and then a topic that we discussed last month that we can discuss again. It's up to you, Al, how far we want to discuss it, Al, but I think Veronica and other people would want us to apprise the board of what we're looking at doing with recordings.
Well, I don't know if the executive board is aware. You researched some other options, and you found
Yeah.
someone else that would do it cheaper.
Yeah, I shared that with the executive board, or at least
Okay,
I
all right.
emailed them. I spoke to some of them on the phone. So we got 2 quotes for recording our meetings. We got one that was, so we had a meeting with one company, and I'm just gonna stop sharing. I'll share my video instead. So we got 2 companies. well, the first one came to us last month, right? They were like 900 a meeting. We had the other company I found through my colleagues. So this other company, they've worked in Manhattan Community Board 3, Brooklyn Community Board 4, Staten Island Community Board, and they're like half the price or less. I mean, I think it was 325 was the first 2.5 hours, and then an additional $35 every half an hour over. The other company that we had come and actually speak with us, they were I think $150 every hour over, so that's $75 per half hour. Long story short, I don't think we can beat the price. We had them come last night to the Economic Development Committee. Joe Thompson wanted to meet in person. You didn't have a quorum, but they nevertheless did have a meeting and discussion. It was recorded. Harriet, as Veronica can attest, said that Hollywood called and wanted Veronica in a movie because the picture quality was that good. In Harriet's opinion, I personally haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So yeah, so that happened last night, and then when I was because of the state of emergency thing, that's always been a problem. We didn't know if we were going to meet remote. Like tonight, we're meeting remotely. Last night was in person. It was all up in the air. And so when I spoke with this other company, the cheaper company, which I sent a picture, which I did send you Community Board 4's meeting as an example, he said, well, why don't we do this? Where do you normally have your meetings? Not the full board meeting, but the committee meetings at the office. Why don't we set up the office so you can have a permanent fixture where you can record? That he wouldn't have to come and pay us per meeting or whatever. And so
let me cut to the quick, Jeremy. We have the one thing that right now we have someone doing our video that seems to be appropriate. The price seems to be fine. The other thing that you're bringing up is the fact that the possibility of having a camera system set up in the office so that all our committee meetings are recorded in the office. We do have, just to let the committee, the executive board know, we have what, $3,000, Jeremy, that we're going to have to give back if we don't spend it.
That's after last night's meeting and setting up a permanent system.
All right. So how much would it cost to put in that system?
$7,400. We currently have $11,000.
All right, we have $11,000. If we continue with the recordings, that's going to take a bite out of that $11,000, correct?
Well, yeah, if we install the camera system at the office, as you and I me and the rest of the staff made the executive decision to do, we'll still have $3,000 left over.
All right, so in other words, if we have, just want to get the finances right. If we continue taping our meetings, and we put in the system in the office, we will still have $3,000 left over?
Yep. And at this point, there's not enough time to spend it. So I think the other thing, some people are concerned that we would use the camera system in the office. No, you're not required to use it. But I know I'm pretty sure you would like it, right? You appreciate having meetings recorded, being able to go back to the recording. I don't know about anybody else, but I think it's a worthy investment.
Well, it's helpful.
I think it's a good idea to have them. But if we are going to spend $7,400 to have it installed, my understanding is there's a training that can be done to have board members so they know how to operate the system too. If we're going to spend the money, then we should try and make it so that every meeting that's in the office actually utilizes the camera system.
Yeah, so training is incorporated into that price. The guy said he's already trained committee members for another community board. And of course, Veronica and I talked about a little bit about this earlier. I mean, how many board members have I trained to use WebEx? And that was not an easy task, but this will hopefully be easier because it'll be in person.
Well, I don't see, again, as I said, if the money is there, rather than lose it, we might as well spend it. And to me, it sounds like a good idea. I don't know how anybody else feels. Hazel, what do you think?
I don't know if I would want to be recorded. I just think that some people just feel funny about it. but I think it's a great idea. We should have it available for those people that want to. I think that, if I have somebody at my meeting that I think needs to be recorded, I would definitely, turn it on. But for the most part, I mean, I can ask when people come to the meeting, I can ask them if they don't mind being recorded. But I do agree that it should be available.
And I want to clarify something, Al, if you don't mind. A member of the public was, even though we had the meeting recorded last night, a member of the public was recording additionally. And we've had this issue in the past, right? We had people in the audience with their light in our face at Einstein. As long as it's not interfering, like that light that was in our face, the public can record at any time, at any moment. And I think it's a good thing for us to have the full meeting, not just some snippet somebody wants to take and twist.
I think that also makes it a lot easier to do minutes for those meetings because the minutes, again, should only be bullets. And then if they want to look further into the minutes, then they can just turn around and look at the video broadcast and they can get the full view of the meeting. Because I think we spend too much time trying to write the minutes. All we need to do is put down the highlights. If there's a motion or something that has to be made, that should be in the minutes. Other than that, Hazel gave a report, Jeremy gave his report. That's enough. If it's something specific in that report that people need to know, then that should be put in. But other than that, I think we waste too much time. 2-3 pages of minutes is just too much because most people don't read them anyway.
Well, not just that, Al, but if somebody wants details, that's what the recording's for. Like you said, minutes are supposed to be a synopsis, bullet points.
Absolutely. So the motion is made. The motion will be made then to accept a video. What would you call it? Recording of our meetings at the community, or set up a video system at the community board meeting.
Go ahead. Anybody want to second it?
No,
I'll second it.
Go ahead. All right. So basically, the motion is to set up a recording to record the meetings at our office, at the board office.
Yeah.
And it was
And just-
seconded. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Second it. I just want to, just for discussion purposes, clarify exactly what they'll do. So there'll be 2 cameras. One will be by the door on Morse Park Avenue facing the chairperson of the committee. They usually sit at the head. The other one will be by the chair.
Unless it's Hazel, then she'll be outside the door, so she'll have to be recorded.
Yeah, and the other camera will be by the closet facing the other side of the table. There's a joystick where they're both remote controlled if you need to change the angle of any of them. And there'll be 4 drop mics from the ceiling, and there'll be 1 roving mic. So for people who like to sit against the wall, like the police when they show up to economic development, they usually like to sit in the back. But if they need or want to talk, you just give them the hand mic.
Good. We have a second. Anybody opposed? Any more discussion? All right, it passes unanimously.
And no objections, all right?
Just make sure you teach us how to do this.
Hey, we're paying for it. They can teach us. I mean, I'm sure because I'm at every leadership meeting, I'll eventually figure it out to a T.
I'm getting old. It'll also remind me what I said. All right, let's go on. Let's look at the agenda.
So, it's not here, Al, but I think you want 2 minutes per gallery session speaker, right?
Yes. Before that, I just want to make mention, and it's not in here right now. I just want to mention, I was at a meeting at Jacoby Hospital, and I think Jeremy put it out there. I just want the executive board to know exactly what was done at that meeting. It was proposed 100 units, 100 1-bedroom, basically 1-bedroom suites. For 60% of those people that would be utilizing that would be from Rikers Island, who are homeless. The other 40% would be people who are, I think, making under $39,000 a year. So that would be basically homeless, who are just on Social Security. And they want to put it right where the memorial is, from the 9/11 memorial, right down from there, the building right before that. And it's something that I know I strongly oppose. I know the community is up in arms about it, but we need to get ahead of this again, I asked the question, was this done anyplace else? No. So we now become the dumping grounds again for some kind of a social experiment that they want to. And again, right now it's going to be putting right in the middle of our neighborhood. It's right on Seminole Avenue. It's right against the wall on Seminole. We have all those private homes behind it. Again, I don't have any problem with people helping. People need to be helped. Homeless need to be helped. Incarcerated people need to be helped. Every community should help their own. Why is the Bronx inundated with group homes, with homeless shelters? It's just not fair to the Bronx. We're trying to revitalize this area. We're a changing neighborhood. The people that are coming in are buying homes. They're investing their life savings in this area. And the demographics we have become a melting pot, which is great for the community. And now you're going to look to drive out the middle class. So we have middle class people coming in, whether they be Yemenis, whether they be Hispanic, whether they be Albanian or Italian. They're moving into the neighborhood, and they're middle class people that are struggling right now with a new home. And now we're going to do this to them. They'll be moving out as fast as they moved in. So I just, that's my take on it. And I will, I think we as a board should fight it. I don't know whose idea it was. It came from Health and Hospitals, but I don't know whose brainstorm it was. And again, the elected officials all like to say, oh, it's very helpful. It's very nice to have a kumbaya moment. But when it affects the people in the surrounding community, we forget about the other people that it affects. The recidivism rate of people that are incarcerated is 66%. So if you figure we put 100 people in the 60 people in there, 66% of those are going to recommit a crime. And where are they going to recommit that crime? In our community. I think what they should be doing is worrying about fixing the penal system so that aren't so many recidivists, instead of putting a Band-Aid on something and then tearing the Band-Aid off. Let's fix the root problem, which should start in where the people are incarcerated, so that they would get job opportunities and get some kind of services. So when they come out of prison, they can be viable, community members. That's my speech for tonight.
So, I spoke with my committee, and we're going to be setting up a meeting towards the end of the month. I think everybody said the 27th, but don't hold me to that. This is not a homeless shelter. This is permanent housing for these people.
It's
That's what they call it, permanent housing.
60% will be homeless. 60% of the prisoners are coming out of Rikers will
Right.
be homeless. So they'll be housed there. The other
Yeah.
40%, which would be low cost housing, which would be I think they said $30,000 or $39,000, which is basically very low
Yeah.
income.
Yeah.
Would be
So, I'm always,
with problems. In other words, with medical problems.
yeah, I'm always torn. I'm a housing advocate, and I'm always torn when it comes to things like this, because
I know.
I deal with homelessness all the time. I deal with people losing their homes or that are on the brink of losing their home. But you're right, we should not be the dumping ground of the Bronx. So anyway, with that said, my committee is going to meet. We're hoping to bring Jacoby to the meeting, and so they can, tell us what it's about, and then we can express whatever we're going to express and ask whatever questions we need to ask. My question is, since it is a committee meeting, it has to be open to the public, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'd like to I know it might be a circus again, but like the week before, I think that we should just put it out there that we're having this meeting. And, because we need the information. I keep getting mixed information from everybody, but I think that this needs to be done. And I know we've already had a meeting this month, but my committee doesn't mind having another meeting, because this is important to us.
Yeah, Hazel, they haven't even picked a developer yet. They're searching for a developer now. So in other words, right now it's an idea. And
Right.
again, I agree with you. My heart bleeds for homeless, and sometimes I listen to myself and I sound like it makes it sound like I don't care. That's not the case. You know, as I said, every community should take care of their own. What bothers me is I've lived in the Bronx all my life. I'm tired of seeing the Bronx constantly being, and I hate to use the word dumping ground because it sounds like but you know, these people are being dumped. These people have, you know, they have a right to have a life, to have experiences just like the rest of us. My problem is when you overburden one community to take care of these people, we're having trouble making ends meet as it is. And now we have to take care of other people that are not even in our community. And that bothers me. You know, let
Yeah.
every community take care of their own. And I'm a firm believer of that.
No, I agree.
Are we going to be sending out a notification to like our community board distribution list to the public to let them know about this?
Yes, I
Yes,
said
no.
we're gonna at least a week or maybe a week and a half before.
The only thing I'm afraid of, and again, I told them they had to come before the community board. I told them they had to come before the town hall. All this has to be done, and they agreed. You know, once they have the developer, they'll come and answer our questions. In the meantime, I'm afraid that they're going to pull a backdoor trick. You know, everybody likes to do things in the summertime when people are on vacation or they're away, and they'll, you know, by the time we come back in September, all of a sudden we have cranes in the backyard, you know.
Yeah, well,
So-
this is kind of why I didn't want to wait till September. This is why I want to have this now, so that at least they'll know how we feel about it. And, you know, I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on them during the summer, but I really didn't want to wait until September to do this.
Absolutely, you're 100% right.
I think
You're
the
going to be
biggest,
inundated. You're going to be inundated with people. If it
Yeah,
goes
the
out
biggest-
that you're having this meeting, you're going to have a major crowd.
I know, that's okay. I'm used to it and it's okay.
Okay.
the biggest thing though is the misinformation. We want to correct that because I had somebody reach out to me, from the Morris Park community, like, oh, they want 300 studios. They sent me a screenshot of the presentation, which was so blurry, it looked like 200, 300. But because somebody had already sent me it, I said, no, it's 100. You know, it's a small,
I think I sent you the pictures, right, Jeremy? Because
not
I-
that one. Not,
all right,
you
I
didn't send me.
I took pictures of their presentation, so I'll send you those pictures. You can.
Yeah,
you
you
can-
sent me most of them, but this particular photo somebody else sent me, and
No,
yeah, I mean,
it's 100 studios. That was the presentation. I was there. You know, so.
yeah, oh, I know, but
Okay.
I just already it was starting to get out of hand, I think. Okay.
Do you have any idea what this building, as far as sustainability, as far as architecture looks like? I mean, did we get the details on what type
No,
of
I haven't, Oral. I haven't received any information about that. They just mentioned that there were going to be 100 studio apartments. The design or anything like that, I guess they would get an architect to do that. I haven't seen any renderings at all.
I see. Okay.
What's next, Jeremy?
Should be gallery. Hold on. And
I
then
think-
do you before maybe to make it formal, you want to vote on the 2-minute rule? And then we'll do that going forward for next future
Yeah.
executive board meetings?
What has happened is people have used the forum of the gallery to you know, for political reasons or for, to lambast somebody. So, we don't need to have that go on all night. So the 2-minute rule would be a good one. This way, anybody can make their point within 2 minutes. If it's not clarified, then members of the committee can ask the questions. I think we have to be more civil, and I think what's happened is, sometimes we get into the gallery session and it turns into a gripe session rather than anything constructive. So I think 2 minutes of griping is enough. If there's anything that's important and that members of the community want to ask questions, then they can ask questions and the person has as much time as they need to answer the question. So the motion is that we have a 2-minute rule as we do for our general meeting for committee meetings. Do I have a second?
So nobody wants 2-minute rule? Hazel?
I'd
I'll
like to second.
second.
All right. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a quick discussion. The
Sure.
2-minute rule is the same thing we have in the general one that we,
Yes.
okay, great, thanks.
We've been doing it for some committee meetings already, like leadership. And I say, and the way I've worded it, because committees still tends to be a little bit more flexible. They have an initial 2 minutes of speaking time. And then after that is fair game. But like Al said, if somebody has a question, why would we stop the back and forth if it's constructive?
Understood. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, the reasoning is not to stop anyone from voicing their opinion. I mean, that's what the public is here for, to say what's on their mind. And they have 2 minutes to say it. If they haven't got time to finish it and it's constructive, a member of the board wants to ask, them to continue, or ask them, they have a right to do that, and then they have unlimited time. But what I want to do is just stop the griping. People get up and they gripe about something for 2 minutes, 2 minutes, or they'll go a half an hour if they can. So we have a 2-minute rule, and this way, we'll take whatever they say under advisement, but it can be done within 2 minutes. It doesn't, they don't need 20 minutes for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do that automatically anyway.
I know.
Jeremy knows already how
Yeah.
I plan to manage it. I understand.
So
Any other discussion? Anyone opposed? Unanimous. What's next, Jeremy?
Oral, you ready to time? I'm assuming you're going to do time keep?
I'm ready to time. 2 minutes, right?
Yes,
Yep.
so, thanks.
Okay, I got it.
I know Mr. Press was in first, I believe, so I don't know if Mr. Press has anything he would like to say.
I do. Tell me when.
Okay, Robert, you're ready.
Okay, as far as your 3 members, Smoker and Rodriguez with BPD as appointees who are up this year, and obviously they reapplied, so it's up to the borough president to see if she wants to put them back on. The other person is the Jonai appointee who's up next year. So you guys do what you want. Have we gotten our homeless responsibility, Mr. District Manager? You could answer it afterwards. From the hospitals, how many homeless people they've had attached to them or not, because that number that you gave was way inflated, we found out. And as far as the Jacoby situation, I am appalled that the executive board met with Jacoby in private, okay, because that was then. Now you had a.
Excuse me, I don't want to interrupt you, Robert, but before you go off, the executive board did not meet with Jacoby. I'm on the board at Jacoby. I was
You
there
met by yourself?
at the meeting.
So no one else on this board met with them?
Nobody else on this board met with them. I was there. I don't think there's anybody
Okay.
else on the board right now on Jacoby's.
Well, I spoke to
yeah.
the borough president on this past Saturday night.
Good for
She
you.
said they're gonna be 400 square foot apartments, and she told me some other stuff, which I'll hold to myself, since you're holding your stuff to yourself. And that's gonna be it for me.
So just
I had you on pause though, Robert. That's you're finished?
yeah, he is.
Okay.
So just a point of clarification, not everybody who's up for removal has reapplied. So I want to make sure we're accurate with the information we put out there. Okay, all right. So
One thing, Jeremy, if they didn't reapply, they would have been off the board in April.
I have not received renewals yet. And I remember in 2020, we didn't get reappointments until June, like 3 days before our full board meeting.
Yes,
So,
the
like,
borough
It
president's
doesn't
working on
matter.
it
We're
right
gonna
now,
find out
she
in a
said.
short time anyway. Let's move on.
Yeah. So Diana Finch, I saw was in the meeting, I believe.
No, I don't have any comments or questions. Thanks.
Okay, and then I see a 718 phone number. I don't know who that is. If they want to speak, if you're a member of the public, now's your chance.
Yes, this is Roxanne Delgado. I'd like a 30-second warning, please.
You will. No problem. Okay, you're ready.
Just tell me when to start.
You can start anytime.
Starting now. Thank you so much. First, I'd like to say I sent an email early today to Committee Board 11 staff asking what motions will be heard at this executive board meeting. The email was left unanswered. And now the in the agenda is a gallery session, then motions, but your motions were already done before the gallery session. So again, this is community board ignoring its own law, its own agenda, its own bylaws, its own rules. So this is an ongoing issue. But I'd like to mention regarding the video recording, because the public hearing of the open meetings law, basically it was less than 2-hour notice, so I couldn't attend that meeting, and most people were not able to because there was not even a 24-hour notice of that public hearing. And with my discussion with the BP's office, they said that no motions can be made until there's another public hearing on the open meetings law. I'm not sure if that was relayed to you, but it should just be aware that you cannot do any motions on the open meetings law since the public hearing was not held within accurate public notice. And lastly, I'm not going to go into detail, but that active meeting that was held this month, I hope everyone listens to that video because it really shows the type of people we're having this community board. These so-called men who went to abuse verbally, taking turns to abuse verbally, from profanity, from slandering, from humiliation, it was disgusting. It really shows that this is not a board for the community. But anyhow, have a good day. Thank you so much.
So just to clarify something, a good point she made was, so on the agenda, I put motions here because the idea is that we vote after the gallery. So I don't know, Al, if you want to, that's something that we're trying to do. Obviously, we're not perfect. So I don't know if the committee feels that they need to vote on the previously voted motions again. It's really up to the board, obviously, but that's why that is there. There are no particular motions that needed to be voted on, but if they are voted, ideally we vote on them after the gallery.
I see, you know, I see Roxanne's point. If there was something that that the community would be against, then I would say, wait until the community speaks first and then, then make the decision. I think it's a good idea from now on, if we do have our motions done after the public speaks, because they do, they should have an input.
Yeah, but my input was ignore. I want live recording because based on what happened in ethics meeting, I think it's best to have live recording because issues that were done at the ethics committee can actually be criminal or at least civil damages towards me. Thank you.
Okay. So no other motions, right, Al? Any old business?
That's it. The only
You cut out, Al. Everybody here? Is it just me?
Al's mic isn't working.
I muted myself.
Okay.
Just basically on the new business, I think it might be a good idea if maybe we sent out a newsletter once a month. This way, it would save Jeremy from giving an extended report when it comes time during during his meetings to give the manager's report. It would already be in the newsletter, and this way Harriet or Chris or somebody could type up a newsletter with what went on during the month. But because people don't know exactly what we do. Sometimes we do things and again it goes unheeded because people don't know. Maybe it'd be a good idea to let people know what we do. And I just propose that it might be a good idea to have a monthly newsletter that went out from the board. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I would like your input.
Yeah, and maybe we could use money towards that because I know some of my colleagues, I think they actually pay for that service. So is that something I could explore in terms of because the other ones, they're pretty professional looking, the ones that do it, but I'm pretty sure they pay for that service. So could I explore that? Paying for it?
Yeah,
Like
if we have the money, that's fine. If we don't, again, if we don't have the money, I think Harriet's quite capable. She's you write well. You can let her know what needs to be done, and she can do it. This way the public knows what's going on, and in
a more orderly fashion.
Yeah. I'd like to hear other members' input. We have a few minutes, so if anybody has any ideas.
Sorry, I just like to say what we need is public notice of meetings. That's how we will know what's going on in the community board. And I'd like to make a request again. Can we have live streams of your meetings once they go in person? Is that possible?
I don't know. Jeremy'd have to look into that.
So this new company that we're contracting, it's actually cheaper to go live stream first. I'm still a little bit hesitant on that. I was told though, if something bad does happen, they turn the cameras off or whatever. If something does really get out of hand, which I'm not surprised if it ever would. I don't know if it ever does, but yeah, I mean the idea also, I mean, I'll cut me off when I keep going a little bit more. Can you see yourself? All right. Oh, I'm gonna mute everybody because there's too much background noise. Hold on. Okay, thank you. So the current system we're purchasing, so 4 drop mics, 2 cameras, 1 roving mic, it does allow for hybrid. You can do WebEx at the same time. If the executive board has looked at the example from Brooklyn Community Board for that meeting, you'll see the live in-person video, and then when somebody gives a presentation, WebEx, it cuts to that. So I think this company is somewhat of a godsend. So yeah, it's possible. I mean, obviously we're not going to do everything right in the beginning. It's going to take time to learn how to use the system. Last night, for example, there was supposedly an issue with people not speaking in the mic. Therefore, you couldn't hear what they were actually saying. Because just like before in person at Einstein, even though we didn't have the cameras running, well, we did, but if you didn't speak into the mic, you couldn't necessarily hear even the audio recording. Remember, we used to bring the audio tape recorder. Is that good now?
Again, we're going to try it. And when we'll see it, we'll tweak it as we go along. It's a new system. Obviously, there'll be some bugs that will have to be ironed out, and we'll do that and we'll move on. That's all. I'd like to hear some feedback about the idea of the monthly newsletter. Anybody have any ideas? Any members?
Yeah, I like it, and it's good that Jeremy's going to explore it.
Yeah, does that mean we could have live stream meetings recordings? I didn't understand the response.
Sorry.
We're gonna try and have it. We're gonna work on getting it done.
And the public hearing on e-scooters, I'm not sure why we're having that because e-scooters already been extended. Shouldn't we have the public hearing of open meetings law that we missed last month? I think that's the more important is that the e-scooters already been extended for another year, so it makes no use of having a public hearing. It's a done deal.
Yeah, I think we were hey, were we going to talk about this at leadership? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think, does anyone else have any more responses for Ms. Delgado before we move on?
I think Veronica wanted to say something.
Is it regarding Ms. Delgado's?
I don't know.
No, I was just saying about the newsletter, that I think the newsletter is a good idea, and we can even try and put a calendar of events, of upcoming events in the newsletter also, besides what we've already accomplished during the month.
Al? Still there?
Anything else? That's it?
That's
Motion.
it.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Oh, wait,
And-
wait.
They
I
take
just
our-
want to let everybody, I just want to make an announcement. We've changed the 49 precinct council meeting from the 28th to the 29th. Just want you guys to know. Because of election day.
Thanks, Hazel. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Goodbye. I will see you at 7.
6:45 the meeting ended.